let's kick things off with an idea that's, well, it's just true. Healthy leaders build healthy companies. Simple enough on the surface, right? But, and this is the big but, we all know that actually doing it, that's a whole different ballgame.
So, today we're going to dive into a platform that's really trying to shake things up in this space. It's called Born to Disrupt, and their whole mission is about finding and elevating leaders who do more than just give a good speech. We're talking about people who can actually transform an entire organization from the inside out.
Okay, let's talk about the big problem here. If you've ever had the job of finding a speaker or a coach for your company, you know the drill, right? You're hunting for someone who can be a real catalyst for change, but instead you just end up drowning in, well, noise.
Sound familiar? You're just scrolling and scrolling through these endless profiles, getting lost in all this marketplace clutter, as they call it. You see all these generic speaker bureaus, and yeah, everyone's bio looks amazing. But how in the world do you find the perfect person for what your team actually needs right now?
So, you've really got two completely different ways of looking at this. On one hand, you've got the old, broken way, just endless lists of names, keyword searches that don't really get what you're asking for, and this obsession with one-off motivational speeches. But on the other side, there's this totally new philosophy. It's curated, it's focused on solving real problems, and it's all about making an impact that actually sticks.
So what is this new way of thinking? Well, it's basically about stopping the endless catalog browsing and starting to make a truly strategic connection. It's the huge shift from just looking for a little bit of inspiration to aiming for genuine, deep transformation. And this whole new approach, it's built on these 6 core pillars. We're talking about things like making sure every single leader is vetted for real credibility, that they're not just talkers, but powerful communicators who can actually get people to do something. And the big one, the focus is always on creating measurable impact and change that lasts, not just giving everyone a temporary feel-good buzz.
I love this quote because it just nails the whole idea. High performance isn't a grind, it's a frequency. It's not about working yourself to the bone. It's about tapping into a different way of operating, a sort of flow state, an alignment where being a high performer feels sustainable, almost natural. And that all comes from healthy leadership.
Okay, so the big question is, how do you actually find that perfect person, that perfect fit? Well, this is where things get really interesting because technology comes into play. But hold on, we're not just talking about another search bar. We're talking about a smart, AI-powered matchmaking engine. And this is really the core idea behind it. An organization doesn't just need a speaker to fill an hour on the calendar. What you really need is a solution to a problem. Maybe it's burnout, maybe it's high turnover, maybe it's a lack of fresh ideas. The right leader isn't just a guest, they're a key part of that solution. That's exactly where this concept of strategic alignment comes in. The AI isn't just matching keywords, it's designed to go way deeper. It's trying to understand who your audience is, what industry you're in, the specific hurdles you're facing, and what you really want to get out of this. Think of it less like a phone book and more like a diagnostic tool. And they've made the process super straightforward. Here's how it works. Step 1, you just tell it what your goals are. Step 2, the AI figures out what they call the job to be done, which is just a great way of saying the real problem you're trying to solve. Then you get a hand-picked list of leaders who have a track record of solving exactly that problem. And finally, they're with you every step of the way to make sure it all goes smoothly. But let's be real for a second. One great keynote is, well, it's just a spark. And a spark is fantastic, but it rarely starts a fire on its own, right? For real lasting change to happen, that initial spark needs to be fanned into a flame. It needs to be woven into the fabric of the company, and that takes a whole ecosystem. And that ecosystem is really smart. It's broken down into tiers. You start at tier 1 with that powerful keynote, the thing that inspires and ignites everyone. Then you move to tier 2, where you deepen that impact through coaching and hands-on development. And finally, tier 3 is all about scaling that learning across the whole company with programs and toolkits. It's a full-on roadmap to transformation. And all of this brings us to the ultimate goal, the whole point of this. It's not about having one great event to talk about for a week. It's about embedding new ways of thinking, new behaviors, new skills right into the DNA of your company. That is what true, lasting transformation is all about.
The idea is to create these incredible ripple effects. You know, the impact of getting the right leader in front of your team shouldn't just vanish when they walk off stage. It should be felt months, even years down the line. You should see it in how your teams work together, in how your managers lead, in the very culture of the company. It's about impact that goes way, way beyond the stage.
So I'll just leave you with this one final question to think about. Is your organization built just for little bursts of inspiration, or is it ready to do the incredibly rewarding work of real, lasting transformation? Because really, the choice you make there, that's what's going to define your company's future.